Is there a broader sense of what he's going to do to privacy legislation, if any at all?
He did say he was going to boycott Apple because they wouldn't agree to make tools to allow, the police and so on to unlock stolen phones or taken phones. But you noticed that he didn't actually do that himself. He still continued to use Apple devices.
Yeah, tweet sent from iPhone. It's like, we can tell, Donald, we can tell.
What's concerning, though, is he seems to talk about the internet as something that you might, I think he said, shut it down at one point as part of the war on ISIS.
Yeah, as part of war on ISIS, he talked about closing down the internet.
We know The Intercept is broadly being all, saved to disk somewhere so it can be later searched and that kind of thing. But this idea of having a big off switch for the whole internet is disturbing, that you might think that's a good idea to have that. Now, clearly, cybersecurity is very much on the is very much on the agenda. We had that huge denial of service attack a couple of weeks ago. We've had the Tesco bank hack in the last week. I mean, this is a really hot issue. So he's called for a review of cybersecurity. Well, that's probably not a bad thing.
You know, we've got organisations in the States, security organisations, that are already targeting things like ISIS through their social media presence. So it's about kind of infiltrating in that way and realising that there's a lot of recruiting that's done at the grassroots level through social media. So, okay, how can we stop accounts? How can we work with American-based companies who are the kingpins of social media to get that messaging reduced? That's something that he could potentially work on. So rather than shutting off the internet, it might be more of a working to minimise those voices.
My concern is it's pretty clear from his statements that he doesn't know much about the cyber, and he's going to be getting people saying, I'm from the FBI, here's what we should do, and he'll go, yep, cool, do it.
Great.
Yep, okay.
And anytime you're switching off voices on the internet, you also have to really worry about censorship. And I think that's a big question that will probably come into play with that hardcore, hard line, we've got to stop the ISIS. And it's like, the internet is a really interesting place, good and bad, but you can't just shut it all off or keep it all on,
The problem of simplistic policies is unintended consequences.